Welcome back to Smile Jamaica. So, after American band Soulja, Soldiers of Jah Army, upstaged Jamaican artists Spice, Jesse Royal, Sean Paul, Gramps Morgan, and Etana to win the Best Reggae Album at the Grammy Awards for their album Beauty in the Silence. The announcement, I don't know if outrage would be the word, but some people are a little bit miffed by it. They're simply asking, how comes? So joining us this morning to unpack this discussion is singer, songwriter, and producer Olaf Blackwood and artist and tour manager Copeland Forbes. Good morning, gentlemen. Welcome to Smile Jamaica.
Good morning.
Buenos días, mi amigos. ¿Cómo están?
Muy
Bastante
bien.
bien, gracias.
Olaf,
Señor.
I'm going to start with you. What are your thoughts on the idea that people are outraged that a non-Jamaican group has won the Reggae Grammy?
I mean, I totally understand, especially after the recent news about reggae and dancehall being removed from the Billboard. I'm puzzled as to why something like that would have happened. Simply just add whatever genre you want to add. So if in this case, apparently it's Afrobeat, just add it. So I think a lot of people it's still fresh. That wound is still pretty fresh. So when something like this happens, I could see where there'll be outrage. But if you were to look at it, the history of the Reggae Grammys since the inception, I believe 1985, in every instance, a Jamaican has won and has never lost. And even when a non-Jamaican won, in the case of Sting, a Jamaican also won. Shaggy also won on that day. So I don't think there's much to be made from it, to be honest.
Copeland, your thoughts?
Well, first thing, Steve Pulse won, and they are not Jamaicans. They're second or third generation, right? And it's not the first time that this winner has entered the competition and has been there, and nobody even argued that they shouldn't even make the finalists, much less to wait until they won before you start making all this noise. I don't see, reggae is not for just Jamaica, it's for the world. Remember, Bob Marley says, this music is going to keep going on until it finds its rightful place, right? Now, I have been around the world at many events to see Japan Splash, and all the festivals in Europe, and there's so many overseas reggae Jamaican groups that are playing in these festivals, I mean, the top 10 groups in the world is not from Jamaica. They pull the biggest crowd around. Gentlemen, Revolution, The Green, The Boo, Midnight, Catch a Fire, Soldier, Iration, Slightly Stupid, Let's Go Bowling, Mattis Yahoo, Godwana, Patrice. I could go on and on and on and list all these groups who are doing magnificent work, pulling bigger than the Jamaican acts, right? When it comes to attendances. I remember one year we had this problem with the LGBT, and the festivals in Europe, Summer Jam, didn't have one Jamaican act on it. They were all foreign reggae acts, and they had 60, 70,000 people. They're just the same. So I don't see there's an issue because another group from Jamaica, which is not from Jamaica, won the Grammy. It's not about ethnicity or the country that you come from. And we should be grateful. They said, thank you, Jamaica, you inspired us.
Olaf, it's part of the challenge, understanding the Grammy process, because I feel like, people who have listened to the albums, and artistic taste aside, people have listened to the albums and thought, well, yeah, okay, they're in it. But when I listen to the albums, I don't know, I still prefer the Jamaican sound. Is it the process that you think we're having such a challenge with?
No, I think they have a pretty solid process. There's two stages. So the first stage is to figure out the nominees. Then the second stage is obviously to figure out the winner. And you're being judged by your peers. So fellow, creatives are judging the songs and records that they have to judge. So I think it's been fairly solid over the years, in my opinion. And we're not going to like everything, and that's just how it goes sometimes,
I want to ask Copeland if this has anything to do with, and I'm going by some of the comments I've seen in social, that the fact that we are not making good music anymore. This is what I want to ask you, Copeland, because I think within the backdrop of the fact that there were 6 nominees? It's 5 or
Yes,
6?
six.
6? 5 were Jamaican. So we're thinking authenticity. We're from here. This thing come from here. We make it. It comes from our blood and our pores. And here it is that the lone international actor, group from Arlington, Virginia, is walking away with the Grammy, has sparked debate about whether it's something, Copeland, that we are doing wrong. And within the context of what Olaf said about, the genre being removed from the Billboard reggae lists, is that a discussion we need to be having about whether this is about the quality of our music at all, do you think?
All right. First, let me say, it's not just now that that genre has been removed. Over 2 years, and nobody made any issue about it for the past 2 years. It's just that it came to light now, right? We almost lost the category some years ago because of the quality of music that we were putting out. And I have been to them so many times, and what was one of the most disappointing thing was our artists never turn up to support it, right? I remember the one that Buju won, I was the only Jamaican there because I represented Gregory Isaac at the time. And I was there with Gregory Isaac's wife, and I turned to her and I said, we are the only Jamaicans here. None of the artists was there. I was impressed now in the last year or two to see so many of our artists turning up to support the genre. Because if you don't want to support it, we're arguing and quarreling about we want to get on the night one where we can be seen around the world, but we don't even go to support it. Now we are there now. We need to put out proper music. No, this thing that has been going around the world about our music, it's a fact. Some of the music them that we're putting out, I don't know which category you don't fit into dancehall, right? Much less reggae. So I don't know if that's a criteria that was used, but remember, that the criteria, it started out in 1985 as the best reggae recording. And then in 1992, it changed, right? And it became the best album, reggae album, right? The only problem I see once already, I saw an album won twice in a different form. When Steve Marley won, he won with an album, and then he stripped away the music from it, and then it became an acoustic thing, and he won on that. That's the only discrepancy that I saw, and I couldn't get an explanation where that is concerned. Right. But I don't see no problem with it, and I am happy when another group from a different planet, a part of the earth, can step in the same shoes with it. That is showing us that the music is not just for us. The music is for the world. What are we doing? We are doing music for ourselves and music for the world. Because some of the music we do can't even pass Port Royal, even disguised as an angel.
Wow.
So we just have to face the reality.
Boy, Copeland, you're going hard this morning. Olaf, one of the things, because we're talking about it, but I also saw on social media that Africans were talking about it. I mean, one of the things they said is that Stonebwoy collaborates on every single album except the one that won. And they were like, oh my gosh, yeah. So they too are saying, we need to recognize, and this is where I want to take this, we need to recognize ourselves. Some people are saying, oh, we don't need to. There's the Grammys. But I think there's a space for everyone to recognize their own artists wherever they are.
Exactly. It's totally open, and also our culture is so influential, and we're really cool. As we said, Little But Witalo, a lot of people just love Jamaican music, and as Copeland alluded to earlier, it's not just for us. I live in California, where we have the bands like the Revolution, the Slightly Stupid, and the Expanders and those guys. They're telling their story and what reggae means to them. You know what I mean? So we just have to make space for everybody to grow. And another thing that I saw that was a bit troubling, where everybody's talked about I've never heard of Soulja. Meanwhile, these guys have been around since 96, 97, playing together. We had Super Dukes who produced the album back in 2012, 13, somewhere there. Damian Marley was also on that, Collie Buddz and a bunch of, so they've been playing together as a group and as a band for, many years. Yeah. And they've been nominated 3 times already, and they didn't win. And so and for me personally, I have a vested interest, obviously because of my involvement with the Spice album. So I wanted to win for my own sake, but in reality, they did a good job as well, and whoever voted, found them as the winner. So there is space for everybody, and just move on and make more music.
Are we disconnected from reggae then, Copeland? Because people will say, are we disconnected from reggae? as a Jamaican people? Because if
Well,
all these bands that we're hearing about, many people say, first may I hear of them, but they are so popular. Ska is so popular around the world, and an average Jamaican right now, if you ask them about ska, they're gonna go,
And the biggest ska bands are, in fact, international bands.
Are we as a people disconnected from our own music?
yeah, I think so, because a lot of people don't even know that Soldier had performed on Jazz Fest here in 2015. That's, and people are saying, I've never seen him yet. I see a journalist post and said, a top journalist said they should come to Jamaica and let people see them and so on. I see somebody make a comment which I have to agree with, that they didn't even know that Gramps Morgan had an album out, right? And what happened, the radio stations here are not playing some of the projects because I have not heard some of them myself, right? And if the media houses would focus on some of the stuff that these artists, especially the nominees, are doing. People are saying they never heard Etana album yet before. They did not even know that Grant Morgan had a single out, because they don't hear none of their songs played in Jamaica, right? They have a point there, and I think the media houses need to support the music more, especially when they are nominated, because just to be nominated, you're almost a winner there, because I've been there, I've seen it. You're rubbing shoulders with the bigs of the bigs, everything and all that. I was sitting 4 seats from Rihanna. Mick Jagger was sitting in front of me. Jay-Z was over there. And I feel like I was, and I wasn't even an artist.
Well, Copeland,
I was the only Jamaican there.
You're raising a broader conversation, because I can tell you that right here on Smile Jamaica and on Two Life Crew, we spoke to every nominee about their album and what it meant in terms of being nominated. We never speak to Soulja. Me got claim that one day coming and on for fine Soulja. But we did. So it's also a little bit about how Jamaican people tune into ourselves. That's another conversation.
It sounds to me like there are a ton of issues at play. What I want to know is what you gentlemen think within all of these factors is the way forward for us to, I want to say, reclaim our space, but Copeland is saying is a space for everybody, especially the players. And Olaf, if I hear you right, if you're doing it right, you belong in that space. But I would love to see us get to the place where Jamaicans are winning reggae awards again. So I'm curious to find out how you think we get back there. Olaf, and then you, Sir Copeland.
Real quick, and as I said earlier, this is the only time we've ever lost in 36 years.
We don't like to lose, so we win again next year.
Yeah, I know. So it's the first time.
It's hot.
We don't like
it's hot, Olaf. We don't like it. It don't taste good.
It is. I guess, one, we'll have to kind of wait and see what the next 2 or 3 Grammy Awards looks like, and if we see a pattern, then we'll be like, what's going on here? But one of the biggest things I've seen thus far is just the way reggae is treated at home. I've been to 33 dance and did not hear a Dennis Brown. Matter of fact, I did hear it when the dance was over. When everybody is going home, that's the kind of love we show the Crown Prince, is when the dance is done. Now we can play you when there's nobody there to listen. Just jerky and Mr. Amanda was selling juice, I hear the songs. So Mr. When we start play reggae in at the middle and the prime time of these big events, and really love it, because in California, if you bring like Barrington Levy here, you don't have enough seats to put people. And when I was in Jamaica, the only time I hear reggae is I forgot dub club. I have to drive way up in the morning and pop into hear reggae. And that's trippy to me as a youth. I grew up with the sound system culture. So I think it kind of starts from home. When them say everything starts from here, it starts from there. So, and I'd like to see more unity amongst the artists as well. So if you even look at it, Coffee won, and the kind of support that she got. Just look at anybody's page and how many people actually reach out and thank her for her historic win. Stuff like that. I think we need to focus on that, because reggae is still alive and kicking over here.
Agreed.
I mean, you're not removing Dee Brown, you're not removing Bob Tosh, you're not removing anybody over here. Those are icons, and they're decorated and loved and respected. So I'd like to see that from our people. You know what I mean?
All right. So Forbes, let me hear you. Chop a tune or no chop a tune?
I agree with what he said. He says almost everything I would have said, and we have to remember one thing, all we have to do is, why I don't understand, when Steel Pulse won, I didn't hear nobody say nothing that they are non-Jamaicans, I don't understand that.
Because them a Jamaican, Copeland, them a Jamaican, if Steel Pulse ever hear you, them begs.
No, but I'm just saying that the argument is a non-Jamaican win, and I'm Jamaican
I
must
guess
win.
because they
If
were
you
more
look at the
closely
list of-
connected and closely connected to some of our other bands that
yeah,
were
if you look
around.
at the winners, look at the list of winners that I said, you know, and you're going to be surprised to see.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's all Jamaican all the way.
Yep.
You know, all Jamaican all the way. So I don't know why now.
That's
why they
probably
act on
why
this
it was such a shock. And I think also the fact that they're Caucasian did not help. But really and truly,
I have a feeling that play a little issue too, you know what I mean? And then we just want to remember, you know, our bridging that passed this week, you know, Tabby Diamonds
Yeah.
and Bunny
Bunny
Diamonds,
Diamonds.
you know, because they have made great contributions. They have never been nominated yet, but they never make it for an issue. But
Yeah.
they made great contribution to the music internationally, you know. So this week we should be dedicating it to those brothers, you
Yeah.
know, that I am very close to over the years. And my brother there from the West Coast, he can tell you, you know, he said something which is great. A lot of our artists who are popular over there and will sell out by themselves. People don't even know, don't come to them show in Jamaica. So we need to support our own people more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Yeah. I'll big up Soldier same way now. I mean, the music is the music is the music, no matter the color of your skin. The man them said them is soldiers of Jah Army, and they believe it, and they put it in their music, and here they are with a Grammy in hand. Gentlemen, what a great honor to speak to you this morning. Thank you for your insight as industry insiders. We thank you so much for your time this morning. And we're going to watch to see, as Olaf says, how things unfold. Appreciate your time this morning. Singer, songwriter, and producer Olaf Blackwood in Calais, 49A, and artist and tour manager Copeland Forbes. All right, we'll take a break on Smile. More on the other side when we come back.